Thank you very much, Matt, as Chair, and also to Labour Representation Committee for inviting me to speak at this important and excellent event. Inspired by all of us, I was elected as a Labour councillor on the Wirral 2 years ago, and like Matt said, I'm standing for election to Labour's National Executive Committee. There's 2 seats for local government representatives, and that's so along with my brilliant comrade, Councillor Matt White from Haringey, who's here today also. Only Labour councillors can vote for us. And you know, all Labour members can vote for some of the great CLP candidates like Nadia, Laura Pidcock, Yasmin Dar, who are also standing for fairness and justice in our disciplinary system. Councillor Matt White and I are backed by a really wide range of organisations, including the Socialist Campaign Group of Labour councillors, the Labour Representation Committee, Jewish Voice for Labour, Don't Leave Organise, Labour Briefing, the Campaign for Labour Party Democracy and Welsh Labour Grassroots. And I'm delighted to announce that Matt White and I will definitely be on the ballot papers because we have enough nominations from Labour groups. So thank you to those groups in East Ayrshire, East Staffordshire, Hastings, Haringey, Lancaster, South Ribble and Wyre. Communities across our country face 4 crises addressed also by this conference today: coronavirus, unemployment, systemic racism and climate change. The answer to these crises is not more austerity. Of course, councils are required to set balanced budgets, but this Conservative government must provide more funding based on what we need. And we support Unison's call for £10 billion to save our local services. It's a very reasonable ask from this government, who found £15 billion for so-called PPE contracts, but without any transparency. This government should also cancel local authority debt, just as they cancelled NHS debt. These NEC elections for the 2 local government seats, it's a key battleground. Do we want more of the same old establishment outsourcing, wealth extraction and neoliberal management of Tory cuts? Or do we want socialist alternatives? And socialist responses are being pioneered by dozens of Labour-led councils. For example, local test, track and trace, insourcing of care homes and other services, community wealth building and common ownership, the real living wage embedded into contracts, council and community-led housing that's shielded from the right to buy, public and active transport, ethical investment of our pension funds, and acknowledging all our histories in our public spaces. My Jewish great-grandparents fled fascism in Europe, and I'm horrified to see white supremacy on the rise in our country. We live in a very diverse society and world, and we need much more understanding and much less hostility, not least because Black Lives Matter, as Nadia so well eloquently spoke about earlier. There should be no place for injustice in our Labour Party. Earlier this year, in my NEC by-election campaign, 46,000 members voted for me, and thank you very much. And I listened and talked with thousands of Labour supporters across the country. Party members are hungry for fair and just disciplinary processes worthy of our trade union, labour and cooperative values. Labour must lead by example with free and fair internal elections. We should retain and reform our complaints system based on the principles of natural justice and proper process. We shouldn't be outsourcing membership decisions to an outside body. Next month, NEC ballot papers will be sent to 6,000 Labour councillors. So I urge you, please ask your Labour councillors that you know to vote for Matt White and Joe Bird. Better still, please ask councillors to put their names to a new public statement of support launched today. But even more importantly, please urge your Labour councillors to maximise socialism in local government. And if they don't, well, we, the members, we can use open selection to democratically replace councillors that don't with candidates that will. So keep up the good work, comrade, and thank you for your support.